Hello everyone, my name is James and I'm an exercise specialist that works for the Edmonton Oliver Primary Care Network. My role at the clinic is to help people to understand how exercise can be an important part of improving their overall lifestyle and quality of life, as well as how exercise can be used as a really useful tool sometimes to combat a myriad of medical conditions that a person might be going through. For today, we're going to be putting together a bit of a beginner workout that we can do using just our bodies or some of these rubber tension bands. I've got the circular type of tubing with the handles attached to it. If you have a TheraBand, that thin kind of flat version, that works too. But essentially, we're going to be using stretchy rubber resistance for the exercises that we do today. Before we get too deep into the program, though, it is always important to note that you should always check with your physician before starting a new exercise program, especially if you might have some medical conditions that you're not too sure about. Always good to see your doctor first and get their guidance if there's anything you need to be thinking about a little bit extra before you start exercising. If you have a pretty good handle on your medical condition, or you know that your doctor would recommend exercise for yourself, as mentioned, you can expect today's workout to be a beginner level workout using the rubber tension bands. It is also important as we are going along through this workout to work at your pace. I'll kind of outline the workout for you here first. We're going to do 3 different mini circuits. The first circuit's just going to be a warm-up circuit. We'll do 1 set where I'm kind of teaching the exercises, and then we'll do each exercise, and then we'll do a second set where we're just plowing through all those exercises a second time. Then we'll take a minute break, followed up by our second circuit, which will be our strength training circuit using the rubber tension bands. Again, we'll do 1 round where I'm teaching the exercises, so we'll go a little bit slower. And then the second round, we're just going to plow through all those exercises we all just learned. Then we'll take another break for a minute, and then we'll finish off with a cool down with some static stretching. Then I'm going to show you some stretches that you can do from a chair. So without further ado, we'll get started off with our warm-up. All right. So the first exercise we're going to work on here, just some side bends. We're going to have our hands on our hips. As I said, they're called side bends because we're just bending from side to side in a smooth, controlled manner. Want to feel a little bit of a stretch on the outside of our body that we're leaning away from each time. We're going to go for 20 of these total, 10 per direction, starting now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Perfect. We're going to go for some trunk rotations next. We're going to be standing up nice and tall. Just going to be rotating from side to side at our trunk, letting our arms swing across our body. Going to work on getting a bit of a stretch across the abdomen and our hips, as well as getting some blood flow to our lower spine. So we're going to go for 20 of those total, 10 per direction, starting now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Perfect. Next, we're going to go for some high knees, marching on the spot. So what we're looking for with these ones, going to lift up our knees and lift our toes with our knee as high as we can and the opposite arm. Then we're just going to be alternating and marching on the spot, really lifting those knees and really lifting those toes. We're going to go for 10 steps per leg, 20 total, starting now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Perfect. So we'll move on to some leg swings next. So for that one, you can grab onto a chair or some kind of sturdy furniture to hang onto for balance if we need. Just going to be swinging our legs forwards and backwards as we're warming up our hips. We're going to kick forward. We're going to get a bit of a stretch in the back of our leg with our leg fairly straight. As we're kicking backwards, going to let our knees just bend naturally as we follow back. Might feel a bit of a stretch across the front of the thigh. And as I said, we're swinging back and forth like a pendulum. We're going to go for 10 of those per direction, starting now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. We'll switch to the other side, going for 10 reps forwards and backwards, starting now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Really good job, everyone. We're gonna move on to some side-to-side leg swings next. So we're gonna have our leg right out in front of us. We're gonna be swinging out to the side and across our body, swinging our leg like a pendulum. Again, getting a little bit more of a warm up for the hip as we're kicking out. Gonna feel our inner thigh stretching a little bit potentially as we swing across our body. Might feel that outer thigh stretching a little bit as well. Gonna go for 10 reps per direction, starting now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. We'll go the other leg out in front, side to side, 10 reps each direction, starting now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Perfect. So we're going to move on to a little bit of a warm up for the shoulders next. So we're going to start off with our hands at our sides. We're going to do what's called an internal and an external rotation. So essentially just turning our arms inwards at the shoulder and then outwards again at the shoulder. When we're turning our thumbs in or our shoulders in, want to feel a bit of a stretch right across the tops of our shoulders and between the shoulder blades as we're rotating outwardly, turning our thumbs away from ourselves, rotating our shoulders out. Want to feel a little bit of a stretch right across the chest as we're doing that. We're going to kind of hold each end range of motion for about a second before moving to the next one. So we're going to go for 10 rotations each direction, starting now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Perfect. Next, we're going to go for some shoulder circles with our arms elevated. So we're just going to have our arms up to shoulder height. We're going to go for 10 medium-sized circles forwards, followed by 10 medium-sized circles backwards. In this case, just getting a little more blood flow to the shoulders to warm them up. We're going to go for 10 per direction, starting now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Perfect. Good work, everyone. And we're going to go to our last exercise for the first round of this warm-up circuit. So for that, we're going to be doing what's called a rocking calf raise. Again, you can hang on to your chair or a wall or whatever type of furniture you want to for balance. And then what we're going to do here is we're going to lift our toes up first. You're going to feel a bit of a stretch in our calves in the back of our lower leg. Hold that for a second. Then we're going to rock forward onto the balls of our feet, lifting our heels up off the ground. And this is going to get our calf muscles to work a little bit. So just working to stretch out and warm up around the ankles. We're going to go for 10 toe lifts and 10 heel lifts, starting now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Perfect. Really good work, everyone. So that's the first round of the warm-up circuit. So we're going to go through all those exercises one more time. Second round, we're not going to spend as much time explaining each exercise as we just went over them all for the first round. One thing I did forget to mention, I do want to make sure we're breathing throughout our workouts. So for these warm-ups, they're kind of faster motions. So all we're really looking to do here is just make sure we're breathing normally, make sure we're not holding our breath while we're exercising. When we get into the strength part, there'll be a little bit more of a specific point where you should breathe in and breathe out. But for the warm-ups, we're just breathing naturally the whole time. So again, we're going to start off with our side bends for the second round of this warm-up circuit. We're going to work our way all the way back down to those rocking calf raises. This time a little less explanation each time. So start with our side bends, hands on our hips, going for 10 per direction, starting now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Perfect. We'll go for our trunk rotations next, 10 per direction, starting now. 1, 2, 3, and remember, 4, we're just breathing naturally throughout these faster motions. 5, make sure 6, that we're not holding our breath. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Perfect. We'll go for our high knees marching on the spot, 20 steps, 10 per leg, starting now. 1, 2, and remember, 3, we're lifting our knees. 4, as high as we can. 5, and we're lifting those toes. 6, with our knees. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Perfect. Our leg swings next. We'll start with forwards and backwards, going for 10 per direction, starting now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Perfect. We'll go the other side. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Perfect. We'll go side to side next. So leg just out in front, going for 10 per direction, starting now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Perfect. We'll go other leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. And now we're moving on to the shoulders again. We're going to go for those internal, external rotations, 10 per direction, starting now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Perfect. We'll go up to the shoulder circles next. Arms at our sides. We're going to go for 10 forwards, 10 backwards, starting now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Perfect. And we'll finish off with those rocking calf raises. Remember, we're going for 10 toe lifts and 10 heel lifts. Starting now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. So we're going to take a quick break here just for a minute. Good idea to grab a drink, catch your breath for a second, just hang out for about a minute, and then we're going to be moving on to our strength training portion of the workout. Again, for the strength training portion, we're going to be predominantly using just our body weight or these rubber tension bands. Forgot to mention it's handy to have a chair by as well, because we're going to be using the chair for a few of our exercises. But we'll let you hang tight for about 45 seconds, and then we're going to get into the strength training portion. Always important to keep yourself hydrated. And I always suggest when you are working out, especially if you're sweating quite a bit, even if you don't personally feel super thirsty, it's still a good idea to make sure we're getting that hydration in. Always want to make sure that we're replacing the fluids that we're losing when we're doing our exercise to keep our body just running smoothly. So we've got about 15 more seconds here. Going to get set up for our next set of exercises. Again, we're going to go through one round of each of the exercises with a bit more teaching, like we did with the warm-up circuit for the first round. And then we're going to do a second working circuit where we're just kind of diving into the exercises since we learned them all in the first round. So we're going to start off with our first exercise for the strength training portion. I call this a X-band walk or a cross-band walk. What we're going to do here, we're going to grab our rubber tension bands. We're going to pop it under our shoes, or our feet rather. Want to make sure we have an even amount of slack on either side with our feet about hip width apart. And we're going to take these bands, just going to switch our hands, cross over, making that X in front of our legs. And then the exercise itself, it's going to work our butt muscles quite a bit. What we're looking to do here is we're just stepping out as far as we comfortably can under control. Then we can control our other leg as it follows in. Really make sure that as we're doing this, we're controlling that other foot. We're not letting the band just snap us in like that. You want to make sure you're really controlling the motion, using the muscles in the hip predominantly in this case. So we're going to go for 10 steps per direction, 20 total, starting now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, halfway, 11, remember we want to feel this, 12 in our butt muscles, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Perfect, really good work, everyone. So for these next 2 exercises, we're gonna get down on the ground. We can put our bands away for a second. I will mention if getting down on the ground is really challenging for you, maybe you have some knee issues or some other reason where it's maybe dangerous for you to get up and down from the ground by yourself, I would recommend you could do these exercises in your bed instead. First one that we're gonna do is just a cat-cow stretch. It's a bit of a motion for the lower back as well as an abdominal strengthening exercise. So we're gonna be on all fours in our tabletop position. Tabletop position, gonna have our hands right underneath our shoulders, fingers pointing straight ahead. We're gonna have our knees right underneath our hips, feet behind us. You can have the toes tucked or pointed. That's just whatever you find more comfortable. And we want our hands and our knees far enough away that we can have a relatively straight back to start this exercise off. And the exercise itself, as I said, it's called a cat-cow stretch or cat-cow mobility exercise. What we're gonna start off with, we're gonna engage our abdominal muscles. So it should feel almost like we're pulling our belly button towards our spine as we arch our back up towards the sky. I'm sure many of us have seen a cat doing this type of position before. So this is the cat part, tightening up the abs, holding for a second. We're breathing out as we go into the cat part. And then the cow part, we're gonna just relax through the abdominal muscles, drop our tummy down towards the ground, lift our head up. And this is gonna get us to drop our stomach towards the ground, kind of like cow udders, hence the cow part of the exercise. And we're also gonna be working the lower back a little bit. And we'll be breathing out as we drop into the cow. Sorry, breathing in as we drop into the cow, lifting our head up, and then we're gonna breathe out as we push up into the cat. And then breathing in again as we relax into the cow. So we can go for 10 of those per direction, starting now. 1, going for the cat part, breathing out, tightening up those abs, arching the back. And then we're gonna relax the abdominal muscles, let our tummy sag down while we lift the head up. And we're taking a breath in for the cow. There's number 1, here's number 2. Tightening up the abdominal muscles, breathing out, and breathing in and relaxing through the abdominal muscles. Here's number 3. Good work, everyone. And we're dropping down into the cow. And here's 4. And 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. And last one coming up, 10. Perfect. Really good work, everyone. So we're gonna flip over onto our back for the next one. We're gonna do what's called a hip bridge next. So we're just gonna be lying flat on our back. We're gonna have our feet and knees about hip width apart. Heels just a little bit in front of our knees. We don't want them jammed right back. And then otherwise, we're gonna maintain a light engagement in our abdominal muscles. So if you think about that cat portion of the previous exercise, kind of tightening up our abs the same way, just without rounding our back as much. So we're gonna get that good engagement there. Gonna be lying flat on our back. We're gonna push through our heels. And we're gonna lift our butt off the ground. We're gonna get us using our butt muscles, our hamstrings, lower back for a little bit as well, while we support with our abdominal muscles. Just gonna hold for a couple seconds and then pop back down. This exercise is called the hip bridge. We're gonna breathe out as we lift up. We're gonna breathe in as we drop back down. And we're gonna go for 10 of these, starting now. 1, breathing out. And breathing in all the way down. Here's number 2, breathing out. And in. Here's 3, 4, good work, everyone. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Perfect. So we'll stand on up. Now we'll start using these bands again. We're going to go into our sit to stands or our chair squats. So what you're going to be doing here is you're going to place that band underneath your feet, roughly about shoulder width apart. Want to make sure, again, that we just have a fairly even amount of slack on either side, so you can just kind of pull on your bands, make sure they feel pretty similar, look pretty similar. Exercise itself, we're sitting right on the edge of our chair. If you have long bands like mine, you're going to lift them up to shoulder height. If you have shorter bands, you can have your hands at your hips, and you'll kind of have to figure that part out for yourself. And what we're going to do here, you're going to sit up nice and tall through the spine. Feet and knees are shoulder width apart. We're sitting on the edge of the seat. We're just going to lean forward at our hips, keeping our back straight through the spine, roughly till our nose is over our toes. Then we're going to push through our heels, or just standing straight up, breathing out as we stand up, and then breathing in as we just sit back down towards the edge of the chair. We're going to go for 10 of these sit to stands, starting now. 1, breathing out as we stand up, breathing in on the way down. Here's 2, breathing out and in. Here's 3, 4, good work everyone. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Perfect. So next we're going to move on to a little bit of some upper body exercises. First one that we're going to do is called a seated row. So we're going to be sitting right on the edge of our chair still. One leg is bent, other leg is straight. The other leg is straight because we're going to use it as an anchor for the exercise we're about to do. So you're going to wrap your band around the bottom of your shoe or your foot. Depending on the length of your band, you might need to cinch up how I am right now. Just want to make sure that at the start of this exercise, when my arms are straight out in front of me, that there's a little bit of tension on this band right from the start. And with that, we're going to go for 10 seated rows. So the exercise itself, we're just going to be pulling our elbows backwards, squeezing our shoulder blades behind our back, trying not to shrug our shoulders, try to keep them away from the ear. Really squeeze those shoulder blades together, hold for a second, and then we're coming forward under control. We're breathing out as we pull in, breathing in as we lower back down. Gonna go for 10 of these, starting now. 1, 2, breathing out as we pull in, breathing in on the way down. 3, breathing out as we pull in, breathing in on the way down. Here's 4, good work everyone. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Perfect. Next, we're going to go for a chest press. So for this one, we're going to be sitting up nice and tall again. We're just going to pop the band around our body, underneath our armpits. And then again, if you have a longer band like me, you might need to cinch up on the band so there's a little bit of tension right at the start of this exercise where my hands are kind of near my armpits. If you have a shorter band, you might not need to do that. Again, you'll have to kind of gauge that for yourself. Either way, the exercise itself, we're going to do a seated chest press using the rubber tension bands. So what we're doing here, holding the bands in either hand, we're going to breathe out as we press out in front of us, kind of doing a push-up motion basically with the arms, and then we're going to breathe in on the way down. So we're going to do 10 of these chest presses, starting now. 1, breathing out and in. Here's 2, breathing out and in. Here's number 3. Good work. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Perfect. So we're going to stand on up. Going to do a little bit more arm exercises. So for this next one, we're just going to be standing. Going to grab our feet just on the middle of the band, about hip width apart, very similar to that first exercise, the cross band walk. In terms of position to be on the band, again, make sure you got an equal amount of slack on either side. We're gonna go for bicep curls first. So what that exercise entails, gonna have our arms at our sides, elbows close to our body. We're just gonna bend at the elbows, lifting our hands up towards our shoulders, and then controlling them back down. Again, don't let the band snap you down. Really control the band as you move down in this exercise and every exercise at that matter. So we're gonna go for 10 bicep curls, starting now. 1, we're breathing out as we curl up, and we're breathing in on the way down. 2, breathing out as we curl up, breathing in on the way down. Here's 3, breathing out and in. 4, breathing out and in. Good work, everyone. Here's number 5 and 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Perfect. Next exercise that we're going to go for here is a shoulder raise, or a lateral shoulder raise, or a shoulder fly sometimes it's called. With the bands, we're going to have our hands at our sides. We're going to stand up nice and tall. Our arms are going to stay relatively straight through the elbow, just a slight bend, but a fixed position. What we're going to do here, lifting our hands up to shoulder height, just going to hold for a second and then come back down under control. Again, we're breathing out on the way up, breathing in on the way down. We're going to go for 10 of these total, starting now. 1, breathing out and in. Here's 2, breathing out and in. Number 3, 4, good work, everyone. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Perfect. Really good work, everyone. All right. So now we're going to go for another round of all those exercises, just like we did for the warm-up circuit. Again, for the second round, we're going to spend a little bit less time explaining, as we went over all of that in the first round already. So we're going to start off with that cross-band walk, walking side to side, and we're going to work our way all the way back down to those lateral shoulder raises again. So let's grab onto our rubber tension band. Going to step with our feet about hip-width apart to start off with, crossing in front, and we're going for 10 of those cross-band walks per direction, starting now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Perfect. So pop those down. Going into our cat-cow stretch next. Again, if you can't get to the ground very well, I would just encourage you to try this in bed. Going for 10 of the cat-cows, starting now. Breathing out as we do the cat part, tightening up the abs. There's 1. And relaxing into the cow part, dropping our tummy down, lifting our head up. Here's number 2, tightening up the abdominal muscles, breathing out, and breathing in as we drop into the cow. Here's number 3, breathing out, and in on the way down. And number 4, good work, everyone. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Perfect. And we'll flip over on our back. We're going to do our hip bridges next. We're going to be lying flat on our back, feet and knees hip width apart, and we're going for our 10 hip bridges. Starting now, remember to tighten up the abs to start out. And here's number 1, breathing out on the way up and on the way down. Here's number 2, breathing out and in. 3, 4, 5, and remember, 6, this one will be working our butt muscles. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Perfect. We'll stand on up. Gonna go for our chair squats or our sit to stands next. So we'll get in position, popping the band under our feet again, feet shoulder width apart, hands at our shoulders if you have a longer band, or at your hips if it's shorter. We're going for 10 of our sit to stands, starting now. 1, breathing out as we stand up, in on the way down. 2, breathing out and in. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Perfect. I'm going to move on to our seated row next. So again, we're going for 10 of these rows. Make sure we cinch up on the band so we have tension throughout the whole exercise as before. We're gonna go for 10 reps, starting now. 1, breathing out as you pull in on the way down. 2, breathing out, and in. Here's 3, breathing out, and in. Good work, everyone. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Perfect. We're going to go for our chest press next. So again, we're popping that underneath our arms. Getting hung up. Going to have our hands starting beside our armpits. Again, we're doing kind of that push-up motion. Going to go for 10 chest presses with the rubber tension band. Starting now. 1, breathing out. And in. 2, breathing out as we press out. And on the way down. 3, breathing out. And in. 4, good work everyone. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Perfect. We'll stand on up. Going to finish off with our 2 arm exercises, bicep curls first. So again, just standing towards the middle of that band. Make sure you got equal slack on either side. Going for 10 bicep curls, starting now. 1, breathing out on the way up, in on the way down. 2, breathing out and in. Here's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Perfect. Good work, everyone. And we're finishing off with our last strength training exercises, the lateral shoulder raises, starting now. 1, breathing out on the way up and on the way down. Here's 2, breathing out and in. Here's number 3, 4, 5. You're all doing awesome. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. Good work, everyone. So that's the second round of the strength training circuit. We're going to take another short break for about 30 seconds to a minute here. And then we're going to finish off with some static stretches to cool down here at the end. So again, I encourage you just to grab a drink of water, relax for a second, catch your breath, and then we're going to be finishing off with some stretches. We're going to start off with some stretches that we're going to do out of a chair, and then we're going to finish off with a few standing stretches. So again, got about 45 more seconds here, and then we're going to be getting right into those stretches. And this water is important for me too. All right. So we're just going to get set up here. Hopefully you're seeing how you can get a pretty good workout just in your own living room if you can't get out to a gym or anywhere else, or maybe you just prefer to work out at home. So we're going to start off with a stretch for our hamstring muscle. So we're just going to grab a seat right here on our chair again. We're going to sit up nice and tall. We're going to stick one leg out in front of us. That leg is going to be straight through the knee. Other leg is going to be bent at the knee. And then what we're going to be looking to do here, we're going to sit up nice and tall through our spine. And we're just going to start leaning forward at the hips until you get a pull right in the back of our thigh and our hamstring muscle. We're going to hold all of the stretches we do today for 10 seconds. And we're going to do that twice per limb that we're stretching, or twice per stretch. So we're going to lean forward, nice and straight through the spine. Another thing you can think of sometimes, try to imagine you're trying to touch your chest to the wall that's far in front of you. It'll kind of help us keep that back straight so we can stretch the hamstring better. So we're going to hold for 10 seconds, starting now. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We'll switch to the other side, leg out in front, sitting up tall. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And back to the first leg again, sitting up tall, leaning forward at the hips, or bending forward at the hips. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now we'll switch to the other side, sitting up nice and tall. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Perfect. Next one we're going to do is a figure 4 stretch. We're just going to bring our ankle of one leg up and cross it over the knee of the opposite leg. I want to make a bit of a figure 4 with our leg that's crossed. What we're going to aim to do next, we're going to sit up nice and tall through the spine, and we're going to start leaning forward at the hips until you feel that pull kind of in the back of our hip. It's a little bit deeper into our body. We're stretching a muscle called our piriformis in this case. And it's a muscle that actually can run fairly close to our sciatic nerve. So sometimes if you are having sciatica problems and it's potentially due to muscle tightness, this might be one of the muscles that's causing major issues. So this will be a great stretch to do throughout the day at work, or as we're doing now as part of our workout. So again, we're going to sit up nice and tall, making that figure 4 with our legs. We're leaning forward, and we're going to hold for 10 seconds twice per leg, starting now. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And we'll switch to the other side. Ankle across the knee, sitting up nice and tall, and we're leaning forward. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And we'll go back to the first leg again, sitting up tall. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And second time, second leg, up nice and tall, and we're bending forward at the hips again. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Perfect. Next exercise that we're going to do is a stretch for our butt muscles. So we're going to start off in a similar position as the previous stretch. However, this time we're not going to lean forward. We're actually going to reach around the outside of our leg. We're going to pull that leg up towards our opposite shoulder and basically give our leg a hug until you feel a bit of a stretch in your butt muscles. You're going to do that twice per leg again, starting now for 10 seconds each time. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Switch to the other side, crossing that leg, giving it a hug, and 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And back to the first leg again. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And last time, second leg. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Perfect. So for this next one, we're going to stretch our hip flexors. I'm just going to turn my chair so you can see my orientation on it a little bit easier for this next one. So we're going to stretch our hip flexors. Our hip flexors are the muscles just kind of towards the top of the front of our thigh. And what we're looking for with this, we're going to be sitting on a chair. We're going to be straddling one of the edges of the chair. So one leg is on the chair, one butt cheek's on the chair, other leg is hanging off with the according other side of my butt. So what we're going to do here with the side that's hanging off, just going to pop that leg backwards with a bent knee. Want to stay fairly straight to the torso, so sitting up nice and tall. Just popping this leg back until you feel a stretch right down the front of the hip flexor area, as I said, the top of the front of the thigh, right in front of the pelvis. So I'm going to turn my chair so you can actually see my motion now that you got the orientation on there. So again, sitting down, popping this behind us with a bent knee, nice and tall through the torso for this stretch. And again, we're going to hold for 10 seconds twice per leg, starting now. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And we'll switch to the other side of the chair, stretch the other side, and we're popping that leg back. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And we'll switch to the other side. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And back to the second leg again. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Perfect. So next we'll finish off with just a couple standing stretches. So can use the back of your chair for balance for this first one, or you can hang onto a wall or a countertop, whatever sturdy furniture you find helpful for yourself, feel free to use that. We're gonna stretch our quads out next. So for this exercise, we're just grabbing our ankle or our foot, pulling our heel towards our butt, bending at the knee, trying to keep our knee pointing straight down towards the ground. Try not to pull your leg back or have it way in front of you or anything like that. If it's pretty hard to reach your leg with your hand, or if you're not quite flexible to get it up there comfortably, you take a towel or a belt or something that you can wrap kind of around your ankle. Just gives you a little bit extra length to grab onto, and then again, just pop it into the stretch however you need to for yourself. So either way, stretch is the same. We're gonna aim for 10 seconds, twice per leg, starting now. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We'll switch to the other side. I'm just gonna drop the towel because I don't really need it. Grabbing on, pulling back. Again, want that stretch in the front of our thigh. We're holding for 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And to the other side, pulling, and 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And back to that first leg again. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Perfect. And our next stretch we're going to do is for our calves. So for our lower leg, it's just going to be, again, hanging onto a chair or something for balance if you need. I'm going to step one leg back, keeping that leg straight. We're just going to push that heel towards the ground until you feel a stretch right in the back of the calf there, of the lower leg. If you don't feel much stretch, just lengthen your stride. Eventually you'll feel a stretch. Front leg is bent and just kind of in front for balance and support, so it can kind of be whatever's comfortable there. Back leg, we want fairly straight through the knee and want that stretch right in the calf here. Both feet pointing fairly straight ahead. You're gonna go for 10 seconds, twice per leg, starting now. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We'll switch to the other leg. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Back to the first leg again. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And second time, second leg. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Perfect. And then our last stretch that we're going to do here is just a stretch for our lower back as well as underneath the arms and into the chest a little bit. So for this one, if we're using our chair, just turn the seat of the chair towards yourself so the backrest is across the chair seat from you. It's just going to help the chair be less tippy for the stretch that we're doing. You also could put your hands on any kind of sturdy furniture. So on top of a countertop, on top of a couch, in the kitchen sink, whatever works best for yourself. But whatever you're doing, whatever sturdy support you have your hands on, the stretch will be the same. Once you have your hands placed, we're just going to bend forward at the hips, walking our butt backwards, slight bend in the knees, and really pushing our butt backwards as we do this till we get a bit of a stretch through the lower back. And we also will get a light stretch underneath the arms and into the armpits and the chest. So we're going to drop down. We're going to hold for 10 seconds, starting now. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we'll stand up for a second. Let our shoulders and our lower back relax. And like all the other stretches, we'll do this one twice. So get our hands in position again, walk ourselves backwards, pushing our butt backwards, as I said, feeling that stretch to the lower back and in the arms. I'm gonna go for 10 more seconds, starting now. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Perfect. There we go, everyone. Really good job. Thanks for stopping in to do a workout with this video here today. Would recommend, we got our strength training in and our flexibility training in within this workout here, about a half hour, 45 minutes. Would recommend, try to get outdoors, get out for a walk, or if the weather's bad, get to a mall or somewhere that's safe in terms of footing and things like that, and get a little bit of that aerobic exercise. Our general recommendation for our aerobic exercise is to try to hit about 150 minutes spread out throughout the week. So, working towards a half hour, 5 days a week or something along those lines, as well as the strength training that we did today. Good idea to try to get this in at least twice a week to make sure that we're working all the muscles in our body and doing some of that bone strengthening activity as well. So again, thanks for joining me today. Really good work, and hope you had a great workout, and you can see how you can set up your space at home to get a pretty good workout in. Until the next time, we'll see you all later. Thanks.